Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be out here in nature and greeting you, bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. Thus, the reason why I want to speak to you concerning self-talk creates reality, and how Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard mentor, taught Neville Goddard to practice self-talk to change his world. Now, each and every one of us can create heaven here on earth, but we have to understand that the kingdom of God is within us, according to Luke 17:21. And then in Matthew 6:33, we've been encouraged to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all these things that we so desire in this world will be added unto us. Now, when we discover that the kingdom is within us, then we'll realize that in this life, we are searching to discover ourselves. Also, we will discover that each and every one of us, that we're born in this world in a state of forgetfulness, or a state called amnesia. For example, there isn't anything that you can remember when you were just 1 week old, or when you were just a month old, even when you are up to 1 year old. There's nothing that you can actually remember because you're born in amnesia. Therefore, the universal question of life is, who am I? And when the answer comes, it must be I am. I am that I am, which is to say, I am whatever I believe myself to be. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the name of God is I am, from generation to generation. It's a memorial. Now, it doesn't matter what language a person speaks, or what is their nationality or their race, we all have to say I am rich, or I am poor, or I am sick, or I am healthy. So, all of us as an entity, our name is I am. And we are one with the universe. So the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. So in order for Neville to understand that his reality is being shaped by his inner talking or his inner conversation, Abdullah had to take him through the practical to prove for himself that self-talk creates reality. Therefore, Abdullah used his mind power to put Neville in a state where he has this strong and burning desire to travel to Barbados. So he can teach him how self-talk creates reality. And at that time, Neville had no work. He had no money, for it was the time of the Great Depression. And Abdullah taught him how to have mental inner conversation with himself to prove that the self of man is God, that the self of man is the creator. And so he was to speak to himself in the quietness of his heart, so he will understand Psalms 4:4, as in Psalms chapter 4, verses 4, where it says that you must commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Go into stillness, go into meditation, go into visualization. So he was teaching Neville that when you have the right concept of yourself, having the right concept of yourself will put you in the right mood, the right feeling, because the feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment is what everyone in this world is craving for. And because Abdullah was willing to teach such wisdom to Neville, and Neville was willing to learn, humanity is blessed today to receive a message of self-realization that can help anyone who has an open mind and willing to put self-talk or the inner conversation to work by using things like scripting, by using things like affirming, by using things like going before the mirror and being conscious of how you go to bed and how you wake in the morning, and be conscious of your mood. That's the reason why my brother and my sister would like to share this book that I would have written with you, and it's called Your Mood is Your Fortune. Your mood is your fortune. So my brother and my sisters, what might be blocking you from your abundance might be your mood. The concept you hold about yourself. The way you feel about yourself. Because remember, everyone in this world wants to have a certain mood. And when there's certain accomplishment in your life, it gives you a certain mood. There's a certain feeling you will have when you have enough money to take care of yourself and take care of your family. There's a certain feeling that you will have when you can live in a certain neighborhood. And all these feelings that I'm speaking about can be acquired with you first of all having the right feeling from within. Because when you have the right mood or the right feeling from within, it will shift that universe that is within you. It will shift that world that is within you to fit that which you so desire on the outside. Now, there are many people who believe in an earthquake as a natural disaster. And they believe when you have an earthquake or a great shaking, that there's tectonic plates being shifted. And because of that, it causes great vibration. But my brother and my sisters, do you know when you go into visualization, you connect your heart with your brain, that you can and would feel vibration? And I'm speaking from experience. And many times I would vibrate with those things that I so desire. And it gives me the right understanding that inside of me is an inner world. And this outside is the expression of that inner world. Also in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I believe, and verses 11, but somewhere in chapter 3, where it tells you the world, the visible world that you see in here, it is downloaded within you. Eternity has been placed in the mind of man. The world has been downloaded in the mind of man. Everything is mental. Everything is psychological. So there's a physical world and there's a psychological world. That psychological world is what would link you to the spiritual world and give you the expression. It's like a seed. In that seed is the germ of life. And when you plant that seed, it gives the expression by going through death, burial, and resurrection. So too, you are the one bringing to resurrect that thing that you so desire. You're taking it from the spirit world and manifest it in the form of matter. So everything that you're seeing is from the invisible world to the visible. So there's an invisible world and there's a visible world. So when you close your eyes and go into meditation or visualization, you're shutting out the physical objective world and you're going into the world of spirit, into the spirit world. And you're told that they don't worship God, which is the inner self, your imagination. That worship is to love, is to adore, is to embrace yourself. They that do that must do it in spirit, with the understanding that you are spirit having a human experience. And in truth, having the right concept of yourself. Knowing that you're the Lord and Master of your destiny. And that you can create your reality consciously. Having the right understanding of faith. Knowing that faith is the substance of things hoped for. So, pulling from the invisible substance of the thing that you so desire, with the evidence of it not being seen, showing you of your imagination that it cannot be seen, until when the evidence has been expressed. So everything that you see is spiritual. So money is spiritual. The Lamborghini is spiritual. All of these things that people tend to frown upon and think it's all materialism. No, they are all spiritual. But you have to have the right concept. You have to have the right understanding. So you do not look to those things for validation of the mood that you should have. You should have the mood before those things. That is why I wrote that book. Your mood is your fortune. And it doesn't cost you anything to have the right mood, to have the right feeling about yourself, to have the right concept of yourself. But remember, knowledge is power when it's been applied. And when it's been applied, it's wisdom. Therefore, it was only until you apply these things in your life that you will be able to cultivate the right mood, having that right feeling. And it's not just an emotional feeling, it's a knowing. It's a language. And when you get into the vibration of that language, there's no one in this world that can tell you otherwise. And when you create that which you so consciously wanted to create through your self-talk, whereby you do not let your right hand or left hand knows anything, you do it secretly. No one can convince you otherwise. That is why you're told in Matthew 6:6 concerning self-talk. You're told in Matthew 6:6 that you must go in to your secret place. For your Father who resides in secret know what you so desire even before you ask. Showing you that the Father within is your innermost being. Instead to close the door as you go into your secret place, close your eye. And as you go into visualization with your inner conversation, you can hear others speaking to you, congratulating you. So you can hear, you can see, you can touch, you can taste, you can do all of these things in your imagination, in your secret place. You can do all of these before the Father. And the Father, according to the Old Testament concerning Esau and Jacob and Isaac, the Father is blind, showing you that the Father is impartial. And whatever you impress on your subconscious mind do not know the difference. But as long as you can impress that feeling, then you would receive the blessing. So my brother and my sisters, capitalize on your inner speaking. Capitalize on your inner talking, your inner conversation. Because your inner conversation will create your reality. Because your mood is your fortune. So whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, if they have any virtue in them, think on these things. And do not be conformed to the systematic way of this world in which they want you to think in terms of limitation. But instead, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And Abdullah taught Neville how to renew his mind, starting with inner speaking. He said, Neville, start first with self. So I think I would have given you enough. There's a real mouthful for you to really digest and chew up on. So I will stay right here, and I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And let me say, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and what I'm saying is really making sense to you, and you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. But before I leave you, I want to let you know that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye, yes, it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And my brother and my sisters, had it been that I would have experienced that light and that single eye within me, and that fateful night when I had that great and mighty shaking, and I awake within myself like a fire being, having heard the unearthly wind, and that single eye awake in me, and I come to understand that when it said that you shall change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye, that twinkling of an eye is an opening of an eye, whereby when I had the experience, I ascend and burst my crown chakra and became invisible, and understand the virgin birth and understand the resurrection. Hadn't it been for that experience whereby I would have gone beyond humanity and come into my divinity, I wouldn't have been here bringing this message to you always saying to you that you must look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That's the reason why I always put my hand right above my crown chakra, knowing you will come right above this place where you will come into your divinity. And always saying to you, do not let anyone in this world ever deceive you by making you believe that the eye, the single eye above the pyramid and the US dollar is an evil symbol. No, it is the all-seeing eye of God in you, who is your imagination. For you would have an awakened imagination and come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun, as in a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly, the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. That's the reason why in Malachi chapter 4 verse 2, you are also told that the sun of righteousness, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness shall arise in you, not outside of you, in you, with healing in his wings. And that is why I'm bringing healing to all of humanity, pointing each and everyone to look inwardly and saying to each and everyone, use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. But remember, it starts with inner conversation. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.